Welcome back to the Family Guy Podcast. This is episode 7 of the Family Guy Podcast, where two dumb teenagers talk about every single episode of the world's most shocking and stupid cartoon ever made. This is my co-host, Ryder.
Hello.
And my name
I'm
is
laughing
Dakota.
at my show notes.
You're laughing at your show notes.
It's
this
really
is a great
fucked up.
episode. This is the season finale of episode...
Season finale.
Oh, sorry, everyone just clicked off. Fuck. We're good at making everyone leave. God, what did you just do? Just
I don't know.
puke so hard, came out. All right, anyways. So welcome to episode 7 of the Family Guy Podcast.
This is the finale episode of
This is
season
the
1.
Season 1 finale episode.
First finale.
22 more to go. Oh my God. My dog is over there spreading her legs, and Sasha Ryder just gave her a glare.
No.
Went brown. Could hear the glare. It went ding.
It bounced
Bow. Sasha, close, run, cover up.
Shit.
All right, let's get into the episode. Speaking of dogs, actually. Speaking of dogs,
yeah.
episode 7 revolves around Brian. It's called Brian, Portrait of a Dog. I love this episode.
Yeah, this episode's great. It's kind of like, well, not play on words, but it's kind of like an example of like other things that have happened in history.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Like Brian, yeah.
Yeah.
Brian is basically, he's basically he's like representing like racism.
Yeah.
Like
No, he's like representing the minority.
Yeah.
That is subjected to awful like treatment.
Yeah, exactly.
And like kind of being outcast.
No, he's not being racist. Yeah, he's experiencing racism, or
Yeah.
what would you call it? Dogism.
Yeah,
towards him.
dogism, racism.
Speciesism,
But
I guess.
there's a funny thing that happens in this episode.
Yeah.
It's actually one of the first things.
I want to do the summary before we get into the bits.
Oh, okay.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
Okay. So, when a heat wave hits Quahog, Peter and Brian enter a dog show to win $500 so that he can get the family a new air conditioner. When they argue over a trick gone bad, Brian walks out on the family and Peter replaces him with a cat.
Oh God.
Brian struggles to assert his civil rights and ends up in the pound. Luckily, Peter is able to hold on. Luckily, Peter is able to bail him out by bribing the judge.
Yes.
So, wow.
So yeah, it's a crazy episode, but there's this one bit where they're watching like a TV show.
Okay.
And it's like the daughter in the show. She's like, because his dad's like, I'm gonna make a sandwich because something bad happened, and she's just like, He's like, you always make a sandwich. That's your solution to everything. And then he like
just beating the shit out of her.
beat the shit out of her, and then like
the other one comes in, he's like, Dad, stop.
Yeah, it's crazy.
4 is enough. And they're like, ah.
Yeah, and even the girl that got like abused is like
She's, like,
laughing.
laughing.
She's like,
It's like I think it's just joking about like sitcoms.
Yeah.
Like if they were like really fucked up, then like that's what they would be like. But they would just immediately come back to like, ha, you hit me 4 times in the face with your fist.
Oh shit.
Yeah. This episode also starts out with Stewie like abusing his bear.
Oh yeah, he like hits. What's the bear's name?
Rupert.
Yeah,
I think.
Rupert. Yeah, that's it.
He like, which I'm pretty sure.
He's like, look what you've made me do, Rupert. I hit you.
Yeah, like throws him or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Brian tells on Stewie for cutting up Lois's clothes.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And there's a crazy heat wave.
Yeah, and it's weird because it's funny because Meg walks in the house and she's like, it's so hot out there, and they all say, how hot is it?
Yeah,
like,
I didn't get that, but I think they were referencing something, and she's like, I don't know, 70? And Peter's like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I think they were referencing something that was going on in this time period that we don't understand because we're hot young adults.
Yeah, fucking hell.
Well, I am anyways. You speak for yourself.
Shut up. Shut up.
Shit. Yeah. I also it was really funny to me when they're doing the heat wave and they get cause Tom and Diane.
Yeah.
Diane.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Whoa! I put that down. That's crazy.
What?
I said, wait, where'd it go? So Diane got those cannons staring at me.
Oh God!
Because Chris makes a reference and he goes to him and he goes,
oh yeah,
because he goes, I think I saw one of her nipples.
And Lois is like, nipple. That's such a
terrible word.
Yeah, terrible word.
Yeah,
how, like,
Diane
stuck
got
up
like
a
her
li-
like
yeah. Her-
shirt open because
yeah.
it's hot.
Yeah, and it's
Giggity.
God.
Giggity, giggity, giggity.
It's funny when like she says Diane, like when they're doing the news, she says something about being a freak.
Put it on your face.
She says something about being a freak and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
And then like that introduced Tom Tucker's like weird son.
Yeah, he's
that
like,
no one likes.
don't say the word freak. It can be offensive to some people.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to him, and he's like,
I'm
"You
just a
think I'm
freak.
freak. Yeah.
You say I'm a freak, don't you? That's all I am.
Yeah, his son has like a upside down face.
Yeah.
Fucking freak. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, that was really funny when Chris says that. So Peter asks Brian to be in a dog show so that they can make money to get a new AC system. Brian reluctantly agrees. Without his collar, also, like Brian's getting ready for his dog show, and he doesn't have his collar on.
Yeah.
He looks like naked. Like he looks weird.
Yeah, he does.
He looks weird without it.
Yeah, and Lois gets him this nice like Italian made
collar.
collar.
Yeah, and then he goes. It's so hot outside that a bird that was flying by literally, like just burst into flames.
Just like blows up. Not
so good. Yeah.
it's great.
It's like whoa. The announcer calls Brian Brain.
Oh yeah, that's
Introducing Brain.
Griffin.
Yeah, Brain Griffin. And then Brian is running like he's doing his like jumping through hoops, and then he stops and
he smokes a
lights
cigarette.
a cigarette, takes a puff, puts it on the ground, stomps it out, and then keeps going.
Yeah, and then like,
so good. And then at the end, Brian puts a treat on Peter puts a treat on Brian's nose, and he's like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah, what the hell are you doing, Peter?
Now you got to beg for it. And he's like, "Oh, man," and that's the trick that Brian is like, that's too far.
Yeah, it's funny also when Brian like walks away, Peter's like, "That's a good boy. Go away now. Flip me off. Good boy.
Yeah, good job." So good. Trying to play it off.
Good job. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, that was crazy. And this is one of my favorite things ever. Wait.
Oh
Brian,
yeah, is it the
deer bit?
Yeah, I was gonna say yeah.
So good.
It's great.
So basically, so Brian gets mad at Peter when he does that, and then the family goes into the car. I wrote down. I have the transcript for this episode.
Dang, where'd you get the transcript from?
I looked up episode transcript and just kind of found it. Where is it though?
You just gotta find it.
I wrote it down it's in my note. It's in my freaking phone somewhere. Did I delete it for some reason?
You can go to your recent deleted.
Well, I don't want to do that. Not with people around. No, it's in here somewhere. What in the fuck? Why is it so hard to find it? I know where that one is. Okay, let me see if it's in my recently deleted. You can't see this. Whoa! No, it's not. Shit.
Oh, shit.
I think I've found it.
You found it? You sure? You found it?
Wait. It's right after this bit. So I command you now to leave. Yeah, go keep going. Good boy. Okay. So.
Yeah.
I let you down, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay, I found it. So, sorry about that.
It took a while.
So, this is the one thing I never asked you to do.
Oh, yeah.
This is the one thing I ever asked you to do for us. This and not do that thing where you drag your ass across the carpet.
It's like, that was one time.
One time I did that.
Yeah.
Peter, Brian, please, Lois says. Let's just have a nice family car ride like we always do. And then Chris goes, yeah, except for that time Dad hit that deer.
Oh,
This is one of my favorite jokes ever. And it cuts away, and Peter and a deer are sitting there, and they got in a little fender bender, and Peter goes, yeah, it looks like you just got a little ding on there.
Yeah.
And he's like, there's no reason to involve like the insurance companies or anything. And then he's like, yeah, but I should still take down your information. He's like, really? You could probably just buff that out. And he's like, yeah, but I would really feel better if I could get your information. I laughed so hard at that just because it's just such a Peter thing to be like, nah, you can probably just bump it. You bump it out.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. And then the deer just being like a person, be like, no, dude, look, I would really feel better if I could get your information. I laughed probably the hardest at that out of most things in the show, which is like saying something because this show's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this dad joke. It's a very good dad joke. One of my favorite dad jokes in the show. So, that's that.
That was great.
That was great.
It is good. It's funny, like, when the cops catch Brian and then they bring him back.
Yeah, I got that.
Because, like, he's like, Lordy, I won't roam the streets.
Yeah, Brian walking around at night, and a cop pulls him over and said, "You been chasing cars tonight, boy?"
Yeah.
And he's being racist to Brian because he's a dog. The cop brings him back to Peter's house and says, "You behave now, boy." And he goes, "Oh, lordy, I never roam again."
Yeah. He's like, asshole.
yeah. And then he leaves and he goes, "Fucking asshole."
Yeah. He's like, you listen to him. He's the authority outside of this house, or Peter does.
Yeah. He's like, just like I'm the authority in this house. He's the authority out there. Yeah. I mean, whose side are you on? I feel like I'm on
Brian.
You're on Brian?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of hard to side with Peter on almost anything.
Yeah,
'cause he's like really stupid.
Yeah, he's kind of retarded.
Oh.
I mean, he even said he is.
There's a whole episode about it.
That's a whole nother episode, a whole nother season. But I mean, he kind of did say that later.
Oh man, that was a crazy episode.
I mean,
that word was said 50 times.
It's Family Guy.
It's Family Guy. Yeah, so Peter, is kind of mad at him, and they're just in having a little bit of squabble, as you would call it. I love the cutaway to the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Oh yeah, he's like, it's like something about like a good family breakfast, and then Lois tries to like squeeze him. He's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, he just starts rolling over him. He's like,
yeah, it's great.
It's funny. Peter asks Peter and Brian old-timey cartoon is so funny.
Oh yeah, like
Peter
building a shed.
I was like, why can't you guys just be like you used to? And it's like Peter and Brian building the shed. I love that. It looked really cool.
It did. It looked good.
It's like a silent cartoon with like music playing, and they're like building a shed, and they keep having all these like wacky It's so good.
It's like 1940s. Look.
Yeah. Chris is so horny in this episode. He's so horny. In the beginning, he goes, "I think I saw a nipple."
Yeah, that's true.
That's not his voice. "I think I saw a nipple."
Yeah.
And then, later in the episode,
I know.
Brian says, "Not after the things I've seen."
He's like,
Chris yells out, "What did you see? Was it breast?"
Yeah, shit.
Was it breast?
It's also funny. Like it's around that like time. I think it's like before.
Yeah.
Where Tom Tucker's on the news and he burps up Bloody Mary. Like,
oh yeah,
he's like,
I hope the boss isn't watching.
Yeah, I hope the boss isn't watching.
That's funny. So it also shows us how Brian and Peter met, which I thought was sweet.
Yeah, that was cool.
It was like, basically Brian was a homeless drunk, and Peter was like stopped, and Brian cleaned his car, and he was like, "Sorry, I don't have any change." And he was like, "Okay, no charge." And he started walking away. And he's got like this like scruffy beard on him, which is funny. And then Peter's like, "Hey, you hungry?" And he gets in the car with him, and then that's like how they met, and that's why he took him in. And Brian leaves because Peter calls him a bad dog.
Yeah.
And this town is fucking doggist, I wrote down.
Yeah, it is.
Doggist.
It's really evident because Brian's like trying to go in a restaurant. He's like, can I get a window seat? And they're like, get out of here.
They point to the sign and it says no dogs allowed.
Yeah.
And then he goes to like take a sip of a water fountain, and everyone looks at him, and then like they're like, "Ew, gross, he's drinking from the water fountain."
Yeah.
And they like arrest him.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa. And it's like completely paralleling like, what's the
It's like segregation.
Yeah. Is there like a specific case, or I think it's just segregation?
It's just like segregation. They did that for
Well, he references like Plessy versus Ferguson later.
Too, yeah.
In when he was in court, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, damn. Also Stewie like hates Brian.
Yeah, he does.
Which I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
You talked about in the first episode how like it doesn't seem like they're like really have that much of a relationship yet.
No,
they
don't.
Agree.
Not yet. It kind of progresses like when we get to go into season 2. I think at the middle or end, there's like maybe one episode where they're actually kind of like doing something together.
I think late season 3 or maybe season 4 was when like the first like Brian and Stewie official episode was around. Yeah, it's really good though. But yeah, because Stewie says that Mongol is probably rotting on the side of the road somewhere. Let's get a kitty.
Yeah, literally. Oh wait, there was one more thing when the Brian doesn't get immediately arrested when he drinks from a water fountain. He gets chased into some like Middle East like scenery, remember? Or like some scenery, like different scenery. Do you not remember that?
Was it like the desert or something?
Yeah, it was like the desert or something. And they got chased. He got chased into like this thing, and then like they thought they saw Brian like in cloth.
Oh
stuff,
yeah,
and it was some old lady.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was rough.
Sorry.
It's like, gosh, maybe they recover her up.
Yeah. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That and they get a cat, Peter's like, I agree with Stewie.
Yeah.
Also, they keep understanding Stewie in this early season.
Yeah, they
Lois understood him a few times. Peter understood
that
him
goes
a few
away.
times. They understand. There's an episode in like season like 20 called Stewie's First Word.
Yeah.
But
after like
20 years.
Yeah, 20 years.
But they also understand him like throughout the show like a few times.
Yeah.
Like it's really confusing who understands him and who doesn't.
Brian understands them.
Brian understands him obviously. I think Meg doesn't.
They don't really understand.
Chris I don't think does.
No.
Peter and Lois sometimes do.
Yeah. I don't.
Oh, they at least reference like what he says.
Yeah.
Or, like maybe they can just pick it up. Like
they
based on
kind of
what he
like.
says.
It seems like they hear the opposite of what he actually says.
Oh yeah, sometimes yeah.
Because they're like,
but sometimes they're like, yeah, I understand. I agree with Stewie.
yeah.
It's like, whoa, yeah. So they get a cat, and it's a beast.
It's a kind of a bitch of a cat.
I mean, most cats are.
Yeah.
Let's be real. The majority of cats you're gonna get are gonna be like,
Yeah,
just
it's-
slicing you up, and
They get this. It's funny they get the lovable cat though, and then like it gets on the fridge and won't get down, and then Peter's like, "Kitty," and then like all of his clothes look really like intact, and then his back is all scratched.
they can't hear anything you're saying.
His back is all
Yeah, he
scratched
turns around,
up.
his whole shirt is like
Yeah.
scratched. He's like bleeding.
Yeah. Shit.
Oh, it's so good.
But
So Brian becomes, wait, before we get there, the majority of the cats suck. I talked about that. Brian goes to use a water fountain. Everyone says it's gross. The
Yeah.
cops chase him, and like you were
Yeah.
saying, then he gets away, hiding in like a barrel.
yeah.
Then Brian becomes a homeless drunk again. Brian freaks out on a guy and bites his leg.
Yeah.
And that leads to the cops arresting him. But right,
Peter see him?
Yeah.
he does.
right when Peter looks
So
over
sad.
and sees Brian, and Brian's like, "Oh, what have I done?" And he looks back at Peter and he's like, "Peter," and then the cops pull in front of him and
Yeah.
take him away and to the pound. He's basically on death row. for
Yeah, pretty
dogs.
much, dude. He's like in the cell with like this big pit bull
Yeah,
or whatever.
It was
Yeah, it's like, "Rrrr," and then like the girl's like, "Come here, sugar."
yeah. Like they like get there just in time before
Yeah.
it like gets fucking ripped to shreds. Dude. So, when he's like, oh yeah, so he goes to the court kind of thing, like for his sentencing, and the guy goes, "Oh, you're cute," lethal injection.
Yeah, literally.
And he's like, "What?" So he's on death row for dogs, and
Yeah.
Peter starts working on his appeal, and they
Yeah.
actually get the judge to agree. I guess it's a judge. I don't know. They get like this person to agree to hear his case,
Yeah.
and dude, it's so funny. It's like this montage of Brian like working on stuff.
Yeah, like reading, and then he like sneaks in this magazine.
Did you
like
see the
legal,
magazine
yeah,
title?
legal bitches.
Barely legal
Yeah.
bitches.
God.
I laughed so hard. It's like a picture of like a girl dog. Like,
Yeah.
it was so funny. And then he
He's like this.
he like takes it out from under his bed and like looks around, and then he's like,
Puts it in the law book. That's great.
it's so funny. And he does the deed to it. I said. Brian goes to court to appeal his case.
Yeah.
Peter has a sweet speech about how Brian is a member of their family first and a dog second. Then the judges don't agree, and then Peter's like, "How about $20?" And they're like, "Okay."
Yeah, they just bribe him.
Yeah. Brian goes to drink out of the water fountain that he couldn't drink from earlier.
It's like a montage.
Yeah, but this time they let him. The cops are
Yeah.
like, "No, let him through."
Yeah.
And he goes and and then one guy's like starts clapping, and then no one else claps, and he's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and this was also sweet. They went back to the house, and Brian gives Peter a little lick on the face,
Oh yeah. Oh.
which is sweet. But then he undercuts it and says, "If you ever tell anyone about this, I will kill you."
Oh yeah.
Great.
Right.
You have anything else?
No, not really. This episode was like, it was good because they kind of like did it the first episode of the last episode. Oh shit! Just like punch myself. Yeah, the episode about Brian.
Oh yeah, it was good.
And it was good.
I like Brian as a character, and I think this was a great showing
Yeah.
of his character.
For sure.
Do you think this episode represents Brian going forward for the foreseeable future? Like, do you think he evolves as the show goes on? I'm sure he does, but
Yeah, I think he definitely evolves in just other than just like a talking dog that like kind of resolves.
Drinks.
Yeah, that drinks and kind of resolves stuff.
yeah.
So,
But he is like, you think
For sure.
this represents his character
Kinda,
overall,
yeah.
sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. It was a great episode.
That was a good episode.
Really enjoyed the deer bit. Obviously,
The deer bit
that was
good.
probably my favorite bit.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what my favorite bit was. So it was a good episode though. It's
Yeah.
just like.
There wasn't as many jokes.
Yeah, it was
I feel
more
like-
about like Brian and like his struggles in society.
And I liked that. I liked the focus on like him being like discriminated against. I think that was really interesting.
Yeah.
How they did that. How they
Racist. Doggist.
dog, dogism, straight up dogism,
Yep.
bros. The dogism bros. Yeah. Great episode.
Great episode. Yeah, for
I
sure.
think this was not one of my favorites, but it was probably in the middle for me.
Yeah.
It didn't have as many laughs as the other ones did, but it had a lot of good bits. And I did have quite a few laughs also, like Brian smoking the cigarette, barely legal bitches.
Oh yeah, that was funny when he was like running around and he just like running, doing all the co-op skills, and he like
stops.
he like got out a random pocket in his coat and he, like
yeah, and then
yeah.
it was so funny.
And then he like did some more scene like
Yeah.
It was a good episode. I liked it.
Great episode. I really just because of the few laughs that I did have, which were really big, and like overall as an episode of television, great episode. But as an episode of Family Guy, and especially comparing them to the season that we've watched so far, I would have to give this a 7.43
Fuck you.
out of 10.
Fuck you. I'll probably give it a 6.
A 6.
It was like okay, but like I was kind of like just waiting for it to be over.
Yeah, I mean fair. I mean, didn't you like kind of like binge these?
Yeah, I
Like, you
literally
kinda did
went
them
back to
sitting?
back and like
Yeah.
so
that's fair.
I was kind of like just fucking get this over.
You were
with.
just kind of like, let's go.
To
let's
be
go.
honest, I was like writing a little bit. And I
Yeah.
was like, there's 5 minutes left. Fuck the
Yeah.
last 5 minutes.
Well, because also, when we're doing these, we pause a lot to write stuff down.
Yeah.
So a 20-minute episode usually ends up taking like 40 minutes to watch.
Yeah, 30, 40
And it's,
minutes.
and it's like it can be. I only watch one in a sitting. That's what I've kind of found.
I'm never doing that ever again.
It's easiest to just do
Yeah, it's
one, and then tomorrow.
I'm gonna do
one.
that this week since I don't have to like. I don't have to do them all at the last second.
Yeah, we got a little bit more time to prepare because we bulked up on a few episodes. We actually have filmed the last 4 episodes that you're listening to.
Yeah.
In one day.
Yeah.
So breaking the fourth wall here a little bit. So thank you guys for all the millions of views we've been getting. I made this joke like earlier. It's whatever. Well, I have a question.
Yeah.
About Family Guy as in its entirety. Real quick, I wanted to ask you: does the show ever have like a real big like status quo shift? You know what that means?
No.
So like, does it ever have like a moment where the normal becomes completely different for like a season or like at least a few episodes? Like, does that ever happen?
Kinda.
It feels like it always kind of reverts back
I think it kind of gets like more different, like.
because there's not really like continuity. Like it doesn't.
Yeah.
you're like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Sure,
So
I agree. No,
kill
but, like
yourself.
continuity meaning like stuff doesn't really like they'll say something in one episode and they'll go back on it in another episode because it's a cartoon. They're not really worried about that. But does it? Ever,
I think it like it always
Meg
like
graduates high school and then there's like a whole new. Does that ever happen? Stuff like that.
Shit, does it ever happen?
I know Meg turns 18 because you've told me about that. I know Bonnie eventually has a kid because
Yeah.
goes, she already looks 18 or something like that.
Oh fucking hell. Yeah. I don't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure it kind of like it moves on a little bit.
Okay. Like there's there ever like a multiple episode arc where there's like something going on and at the end of the season it pays off? Like I know they're like a cartoon, so they probably don't.
Yeah,
really do that
I
kind of
don't
stuff.
honestly remember.
I mean, yeah, the episode they kind of sit by themselves.
Yeah, because episodes is like it could be like Chris dies, but then the next episode he's there, and
Well,
it's
I know,
like a complete
I know
new
Brian dies in an episode, and then he comes back 2 episodes later.
plot.
Like he gets hit by a car and dies.
Yeah.
Do you not remember that?
Shit, I don't know.
'Cause they like literally kill him off for like 2 episodes.
Yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah.
So I guess that's a status quo shift. And I guess you could count like Peter's different jobs as status quo shifts too.
Yeah.
Because like he's working here now he's working here. So I guess there is little things.
Yeah.
But nothing like major.
No.
That you know of. Okay. And
Nothing
then
that I can really,
in the
like,
new
remember.
season they said that they were gonna we're changing Meg is now a full blown character. Oh, not anymore.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah. But
Yeah, I mean, I love this show.
I do
From
too.
what I've seen of it. I'm only
Just never-
5 seasons.
Just never gonna binge a couple episodes in a row ever again.
Never again. Never again.
Never again. Never forget.
Never forget.
Never forget.
But I mean, I do really like the show. I feel like a lot, especially I think one reason that they haven't done many of those is because they don't have to.
Yeah, they
I mean,
don't.
think about it like a show like Friends or like a live action sitcom. They kind of have to because the characters are aging.
Yeah.
You think about, I don't know, fucking Disney show like Jessie, right?
Yeah.
The characters, they're getting older. They're not 5 anymore, so they can't be playing kindergartners.
Yeah.
They're playing like high schoolers now, and that's
Yeah.
interesting to see those characters grow up and change throughout the show. But Family Guy, and a lot of shows like it that are cartoons like that, they just feel like they stay the same forever. And I don't know I don't know if I like it more. Are just grinning at me. I don't know what to do. But I think that the reason, the way that they've stayed on for as long as they have is staying the same
I agree.
for so long. But I was like, come on now, when are we going to end this shit? All right. Let me give you guys my fun Family Guy fact real quick, and then we can wrap up the pot. I think Ryder wants to go home.
Help!
Peter Griffin was inspired by a real person.
Your mom? I just roasted the shit out of you.
Peter Griffin is the main character on the show, and he is the father of the family.
Yeah.
We all know this.
We know
and
that.
he's also getting in some crazy antics. What many fans do not know is that he is actually inspired by a real person that McFarlane knew in real life. Peter is inspired by a security guard at the college that McFarlane attended in Boston. The creator of the show loved this thick, heavy accent as well as his deep voice, and decided to use it for this show. So
That's cool.
interesting. I mean, imagine real life Peter Griffin. Yeah.
Lois, you're an idiot. I spoil you.
I spoil you, Lois.
I
Brian,
spoil
you're
you.
a bad dog. A bad dog. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching.
Thank
this
you guys for
episode.
watching the Family Guy Rewatch podcast.
This is episode 7, the ending of season 1. We did season 1. Let's give a little round of applause.
Let's go.
Woo! All right.
Shit.
Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you guys.
Be sure to tune in next week.
Yes, tune in
we're
next
posting
week.
every Wednesday and Saturday and
Every
Sunday.
Wednesday,
Wednesday,
Saturday,
every
Sunday.
Sunday and Wednesday. For season 2. We'll see you guys in season 2. Goodbye. Giggity, giggity, giggity.